Hi guys, welcome to the August podcast on the CIN website with me, Sam Jones. A little bit of a change to the roster this month. Chantal has landed herself a new job, so she's not with us this month. So I had to look around the office and I found Greg Dando. How you doing, Greg?
I'm very well, Sam, thank you very much. Hello everyone.
Right, we're going to talk about a few things, kicking off with the reviews that we've been looking at. Hitman episode 4. That was one that I reviewed recently, where Agent 47 is sent to Bangkok to eliminate a singer. It's codenamed Club 27, which goes with the famous people died at the age of 27, rock stars, musicians, various people like that. Also currently looking at Deus Ex, which the review will be on next week's Games channel. And Greg is going to briefly talk about Worms, which the review is online now. So talk us through Worms.
Yeah, it's a follow-up to Worms Battleground, which was released last year, I think. Yeah, very fun game. A lot of, a few additions to it, which, bolster the gameplay. You got vehicles now, which you can hop in and out of, which are very fun to use, but are not too kind of overpowering.
So it's still quite even then, even if people have got vehicles?
Yeah.
Cool.
Been given a bit of a graphical overall. It looks more polished than ever before. Still 2D, which is, it's perfect. Because I know Team 17 have tried to go into 3D before, but didn't really work, so they've returned to the 2D. Yeah, you've now got buildings you can hide in as well, which adds a new kind of strategy to the game. And weapon crafting. Yeah, you can now craft new weapons during the game, or add power-ups to existing weapons, which again adds a great new element to the game.
Awesome. So comparing it to the days when you started playing it in, was it 1995?
Yep, the original Worms.
Yeah. There's still enough kind of nostalgia there to get you interested in it, but there's enough to sort of entice younger maybe generations into it.
Oh yeah, it's still, it hasn't, like, even from the menu system, the in-game weapons menu, it's not strayed too far from the original even all them years ago, but it appeals to new players and older players alike.
Awesome. And what rating did you give that?
8 out of 10.
He does love playing with his worms. Okay, so let's have a look. So Insomnia 58 is coming up this weekend, which both myself and Greg will be attending on the Sunday. So if there's anyone around, if you see the BFG, then give us a wave. It's a big friendly gamer. Because you probably won't spot me next to him. So what we looking at? What's the games you're eyeing up?
Gears of War 4 and FIFA 17.
Absolutely.
Just hopefully I can find a FIFA game I can beat you up.
Yes. For anyone that's not aware of our FIFA games, we do play nightly, and we tend to have to lower my stars to make it a little bit even. But moving on.
Yeah. Well, next subject.
So what are you looking from FIFA 17? Talking to you on several occasions each week, you're not happy with certain kind of game mechanics of FIFA 16?
No, looking at footage that's just been released, they've improved the through ball system, because certainly in FIFA 16, you try through ball and it had a habit of going through, keeper would be out to it, and apparently they've improved that now. It works a lot better. I'm hoping the defending's a bit, quicker, just easier as well. And the passing, I didn't like the passing in 16. I don't know if that's just because I'm a rubbish FIFA player. But even like the shortest of passes didn't seem to find the target. So I'm hoping they've improved that as well. And also, I think the pacing, there was an issue with the pace balance, as you well know. I've been running at you with like Lionel Messi, who's like 94, I think, rated for pace, and your slowest right back could still catch him.
Couldn't compete with Al Hamdan. It always seems to be a good case study with Mertesacker, because he must be one of the slowest centre-backs.
28 rated for pace.
Wow.
Yeah.
And yet he seems to catch me every single time I've got a ball.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I think they went a bit too OTT on the whole pace change, didn't they? Because Pez has always had that quickness to it, and that swift kind of counter-attacks, but there's been plenty of occasions on FIFA 16 where I've been kind of chase down. I mean, you've got the ball. You're naturally going to be a little bit slower than you full sprinter.
Yeah.
But it does take the Michael sometimes when people are catching up with you.
Yeah.
Which you seem to have that problem every
game.
Quite interesting in the career mode, the story mode. That's going to be. I don't know if we're going to see much of that at Insomnia, but is that something that you're quite excited about?
Yes, I am. Yeah, because I'm certainly a big fan of the. It looks like they've kind of borrowed the idea from the NBA 2K games. Yeah, it looks a lot more in depth. You know, there's more of a story behind the career mode. So, yes, I am very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, I did enjoy Fight Night Round 3, which was a similar kind of rags to riches story.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's that kind of coming up through the ranks. And I believe Jose Mourinho and Arsene Wenger are voiced in it.
They are.
That's going to be the most stone-faced managerial talk you'll ever have. I think you did well. Yeah, apart from that, Gears of War 4, that looks exciting. I tried out the beta. Did you try the beta?
The multiplayer. Yeah.
What did you think of that?
Very enjoyable, very slick. Didn't get to try out the new kill move. But I don't know if that's just because I'm, again, rubbish at the game.
Too hard on yourself, mate.
No. But no, it was. It ran beautifully, it looked beautiful. Yeah, I'm just very much looking forward to the campaign mode with that.
Yeah.
As with all Gears of War games.
Talked about this briefly with Chantal on the previous podcast with Gears of War, where Judgment, I mean, it was a prequel, so it doesn't really have much relation to kind of Gears 3 and beyond, but that wasn't something I was keen on.
No.
I felt myself kind of pushing myself to play that just for the sake of it being a Gears game. But I'm really excited to see where they're going to take it next, and the fact that we've seen old players like old Marcus, and the protagonist is Marcus' son, Zombie Dom on multiplayer. That's a bit creepy.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
I wish I'd not really seen him again after that dramatic, heartbreaking scene in Gears 3. But no, it should be good, and hopefully we'll get some decent online play on that and test some of those crazy weapons out, like the buzzsaw and drop shot and.
Yeah, definitely some very crazy looking guns in it.
Yeah, awesome. And we'll be able to work as a team on that, so it won't be me battering you on a game again, unless we go on separate teams.
This is very true, but I'll probably beat you at Gears.
Yeah, actually, fair enough. Just stick to FIFA.
Just remember what happened when we were playing Gears of War 2. Who was letting the side down with that?
Oh, well, you know, we did put it on Insane. Yeah, I don't think there's no point in carrying on with that, is there?
Not really, no.
If anyone who's played Gears 2, we're referring to that scene where they're travelling on the huge trucks with Dizzy to the next location, which you get attacked by those flying things.
Yeah, like mud bombs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't think what they're called.
Yeah, and there's basically one of them on the left hand side of you that keeps whacking into the truck, and you have to kill it before it basically just knocks you off a cliff. And we could not do it.
Mainly due to Sam.
No. I distinctly remember someone was a bit slow that night. But, you know, moving on. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Hideo Kojima's new game, Death Stranding, which the weirdest trailer I think I've ever seen for a game.
Yes.
Where Norman Reedus just holding a baby and then it disappears and then it kind of, there's fingerprints all over the floor and it looks like people are floating above him. No idea.
Yeah, very
no
strange.
idea. Now, an interesting thing this week, Mads Mikkelsen, who you may have seen in the Hannibal TV series or as Le Chiffre in Casino Royale, James Bond film, he's apparently been rumoured to be in Death Stranding. This is very loose kind of information being put together by the internet, which normally isn't the greatest place to find resourceful news, unless it's actually from a professional newspaper like ourselves. A picture was tweeted by Kojima of a man with his back to the camera saying adjusting, and he was in like a bright pinky orange kind of jacket, and it looks like they were kind of doing some sort of facial recognition 3D animation work. Then a day later, a chap who originally from Belfast, but apparently he was in Sheffield at the time, got a picture of him and said, oh yeah, he's over here making a game and stuff. Everyone went mad for it. And they've kind of put two and two together. Because Matt is actually wearing the same, what looks to be the same Nike top from Kojima's picture. And Kojima also tweeted a really positive, like, oh my god, Mads is amazing. He was in this feature in this magazine. I love him. He's sexy with blood all over him. Which I think he's referring to some sort of Hannibal thing rather than some sort of private man. What do you think I mean, are you aware of Mads? Do you think that would be a decent addition to that game? Because, I mean, they've already got quite a popular, well-known protagonist. He'd make a cracking villain, I'm sure.
I don't really know a lot about him, if I'm honest.
No?
I never watched Hannibal. No, not seen it, so
No.
I can't really.
He has got this really sinister thing about him.
He does look very. He's got an evil look about him.
He was definitely a Bond baddie.
Yeah.
Definitely had that kind of look about him. Probably the coolest Bond baddie to have asthma, I believe, because he had an inhaler. So it's sort of like, Mr. Bond. So yeah, no, that should be interesting. Hopefully Kojima or anyone from their team will announce more. But a lot of information on that game is very kind of scarce at the moment, so I'm thinking that's going to be 2017 before we even hear any kind of set news on it.
Yeah.
Moving on to Pokemon Go, which we mentioned in the last podcast. May as well mention it now because it was quite big this week that 15 million or around 15 million users have apparently stopped playing. Which, you know, we knew it'd peak. We both play Pokemon Go ourselves, and I still find it entertaining. I mean, I don't necessarily go out and try and catch as many or walk as much for these eggs as much as I was over the first couple of weeks, but are you surprised by that number dropping?
It's quite a big drop, to be honest. You're always going to lose some of your audience because you're just going to, on its initial release, you're going to get the casual player who will get caught up in the hype and download it and, you know, just to see what the fuss is about. So you're going to expect it to tail off after a certain time, but 15 million, it's a big, you know, I'd say that's quite an alarming number, but I would say that's probably due to the lack of content that's been added.
I mean, they seem to have put a stop on requests for Pokestops and gyms.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was, 80 million people playing it. I'm assuming they must have had at least 1 million people say, I want a Pokestop at my house.
Yeah.
Or a Pokestop down the road. So I can understand why they're not adding any more of those. The tracking system still
not
awful. I mean, they just added grass
yeah.
instead of footprints, and now it's sort of, you just don't know where they are. They just pop up. You know that it's near you, so you're kind of just walking in a circle and hoping that it's there. And obviously now that we understand with the third-party apps that they're only there for so many minutes, it's impossible, isn't it? You're just kind of searching all over the place. There's been a few updates, which I'm glad they're updating it so soon, but not quite what we wanted or expected, is it?
No, and I mean, as someone that I will openly admit to, you know, using a fake GPS app.
Dun dun dun.
I was walking along in San Francisco, an area where they've been trialling the new sighting system, which actually includes a little photograph of the location of the Pokemon, which I think once they roll it out everywhere will be very, very helpful. Certainly better than a few blades of grass at least, anyway.
What do you want to see from it in the next maybe 3 months, 6 months?
I know it's encouraged, you know, it's a game that encourages you to get out and, you know, hunt for them yourself, but I think it really would be good to have an option where you do have a little joystick on screen and actually just...
Let's just kill the whole point of Go.
I know it's called Go for a reason, but yeah, I think part of it is people just can't be bothered to go out and do it now, especially with the weather the way it is recently.
Yeah, I mean...
Certainly in the UK anyway.
Us Brits have a problem.
Yeah. And live it, you know, a lot of people who do it live in, like, really secluded areas and
they
don't have, you know, like I do in Tamworth.
It's secluded, by which you go to the castle grounds and you have about 6 Pokestops sat around each other. That's very secluded.
Yeah, but that's nothing compared to Tokyo, where you've got
that's
70.
Right. That's not like Four Oaks, where I live, where there's one about a 20-minute walk away. Just get 3 Pokeballs and a potion and walk off.
Yeah, but you're younger than me, so you should have more energy.
Yeah, no, I can get away with it as well.
Yeah.
I don't look quite sinister than a tall man in his 30s stood at a picnic area, you know. People talk.
with his phone out.
Okay, well, we haven't had any restraining orders on Greg so far, so fingers crossed.
Yeah,
We're all
not
right.
that I've shouted about anyway.
No. Oh no. Is there anything else you want to add, Greg?
No, just I'm very much looking forward to Insomnia.
Because
In fact, I need to pay for the ticket.
Yeah, you need to pay.
Yeah, I've got the £5 in my wallet.
That's fine. No, I thought it was 50.
No.
Is it not?
No.
Ah, well.
Not even if you stay overnight, it's not that much.
No. What are you expecting from it? Have you seen any kind of footage from inside these events before?
I've seen, there's photos on the website from previous events which I've looked at. Just looks like a load of consoles and PCs set up, ready for
Heaven.
people to... Well, exactly, yeah. My idea of heaven.
Yeah. I mean, technically, I think I did sort of go to the last one, but I was kind of sent into a side room to watch Australian comic who does The Dark Room, which is like a live action game. And I did briefly kind of look around at what was going on in like the main hall of the NEC. And it is literally just computer after computer, just in a long row. And these guys, like, I was walking out at 12:30 after the interview with this guy, and people were just straight up energy drinks, everything's help, and just gaming, like they're in the bedrooms or in the living rooms, and it seems like they just stay there all night, which is crazy. And especially in that kind of room, you will not be aware of like the time absolutely flying by until you're absolutely shattered. So maybe one day we'll have to try one of the
all-nighter.
Yeah.
Right,
we'll wrap it up there. Thanks to Greg for stepping in. Might get you on the September podcast. I think you've done all right on this one.
Yeah.
You were a bit nervous. You went for a week before, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, he's all right.
I'll do a bit more research as well.
Yeah, that's fine. And you can read Greg's Worms WMD review now on the Games channel. And also, you've got my review of Deus Ex going on next Thursday. We're also expecting Resident Evil 4 to be released on the Xbox One. So we think that we'll be getting a copy of that through, so Greg will be trying that out for me, and we'll have a review on that over the next week or two.
Yeah,
so,
I cannot wait.
Absolutely. No, I did enjoy that on the 360. That's the first game actually I've gone from PS2 to 360, and still kind of enjoyed the concept of playing an old game.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got lots to show you over the next couple of weeks, so pop onto the Video Games channel and check it out. We've got it on 7 sites. One of them is www.tamworthherald.co.uk/video-games. You can also follow myself on Twitter, which is Sam Jones Journo, and we'll also be updating the Tamworth Herald Facebook group with various reviews and posts. So we shall see you in September. Goodbye, Greg.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.